announced a raft of tariffs.
Yeah.
And when he was running for office, he told Americans, inflation is very high, it's punishing. The cost of living is very high, it's punishing. Even told them the Russia-Ukraine war, I'll sort it out in a day. But what is the effect of the tariffs he's going to announce tonight? It's going to increase the cost of living. But because people have fallen in love with their captors, right now you go to the US, almost 9 out of 10, actually not 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 Republicans are defending Donald Trump. Okay. Yet they know that these tariffs are going to cause chaos in the economy. Right. Now the same obtains in Kenya. If you go to parts of Lunyanza, the moment you have a selfie with Mr. Raila Odinga, you will win the party primary ticket and you'll be way to your National Assembly, whichever seat you are running for. This means...
So it means even for this, Nyaribo is coming on this one, so that we can also listen to what Senator Nyonka was talking about on the whole bit of matters, political parties, even for Matiang'i. Does it mean that the two would need to cling on to another political figure so that they can actually make it? He was giving an instance if there were no other political figures who are not in this race, will they survive? And now that brings me to that question of, will they survive if they do not cling to any other political figure we know?
I don't think your viewers have any time to waste. The answer is no. If they come and stand alone, they will not. And this is important for the Gen Z, because the Gen Z seems to be the scapegoat for each candidate today. They both seem to be drawing inspiration from the youngsters and the young people, you know, the Gen Z, as we call them. And this is a good, clear warning to the Gen Z that you need to do what Raila Odinga and William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta are doing. I mean, that click in terms of political leadership is arranged, is organized. You know, it's all about who are you grouping up yourselves with. There was a very plausible initiative by the youth when they decided to be speaking on Twitter Spaces, isn't it?
Yeah.
X Spaces, so to say. And there were so many, the president had to head there because that is where the crowd is. Yes. So I think that the Gen Z, one, they must learn how to come together, and they must learn how to dodge these political bullets coming on their way. You cannot say, I'm not moving, you kill me if you want. You will die, by the way. So they need to, no, what I'm saying on this issue is, they need to learn how to cohesively stand together, always on their point. Then they must be registered as voters.
So that's for the Gen Z. Now,
I understand, I'm coming there. Now, if you talk about whether Fred Matiang'i can come to the elections and win the elections, if he is not tapped by any of the political bigwigs, the arrangers, the organizers of what happens, I don't think so. Not even you know, former CJ can actually claim that, because by all means, you read the history from Kenyatta, Moi, Kibaki, and now, if you listen to the whispers in political corridors, you know very well that William Ruto did not become president because he shouted hustler. There are people who recommended him before. And Raila Odinga's votes have never, ever been counted correctly because there are people who sit somewhere and say, Atutaki hiende hivyo. So even for this one, unless we want to be naive, Fred Matiang'i has a support base called the Mount Kenya support base that is initially was propelled by Uhuru Kenyatta. But you can see now Kioni, there is rumor also even Gachagua himself, I mean, does not mind that kind of grouping as long as they remove who? William Ruto. And the same thing for Elder Maraga. I mean, you know, we have been around and we know whose friend are you. So we know very well that in order to disorganize a certain region in a certain manner, there has to be a potentially powerful person requested or motivated or influenced to stand as a presidential candidate. And yes, he can say what he has to say, but you see, we all have our minds and we know what situations mean.
And speaking of